Hello audience, my name is Isaac Atiers, and I am the bard of Bardic Logs. I am your DM today. Now I present to you a wonderfully woven tale of bounty hunters going and hunting down the missing figures of Los Palagos. Please join me and them in a Bardic Logs side quest, Inner Demons. Part 2, Facing Others' Demons. Where we left off, you guys have gone to sleep. You guys have woken up to the next day. Lizel, you go and make sure you stop by Clerk's. You get the set of leather armor, that he has identified and fully, figured out. He, once again, is now covered in a new scar, and he looks very proud of it as he hands you the armor. This one was a Riley one. Still not sure what he means. You accept the armor, kind of just nod your head like, okay, and move on.
Yep. Yay, 14 AC. So freaking squishy.
The rest of you, before we head off, and before the actual, going towards your objective, is there any last-minute things that you guys may have thought of over the week that you're like, wait, I need to buy this real quick?
Probably check at the store.
We're gonna go to Shore and Shrines and get some lessons for Xena and the other dogs.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Last time I said, let's see, it was while you're at the stronghold that the puppies are fed for, because you're deal with the cooks. So, well, I would say if you guys, just one of you gives me a gold, you can have enough rations to feed the puppies for this entire mission.
One gold? Got it.
There you go. Yep, you walk up to Swine, and Swan's like, oh, hello once again. Hey, shh, by the way, I don't know where your friend is. Don't let Swine see him in the background here. Do I smell a bitch?
Technically, yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Xena's with me at this point in time, so...
Yeah.
I poke my head through the door. Do I hear a cunt?
Oh.
The right pronunciation. That's literally actually what you call a female dog, so...
Yes.
One of these days, you're gonna end up with spit in your food. He gives you that look. Just like, oh.
Stop pissing off the Frenchman.
Good morning, Swine.
Morning.
French experience.
Alright. And with that, you guys head off. You guys are going to Los Palagos, a kind of Spanish-themed town, mostly populated by tabaxi, lizard folk, orc, and dragonborn. From what you have heard, is a medium-sized town with a large tourist economy, boasting several tourist attractions, such as the actual target of your contract, the Mercule God of Death Chapel, run by Father Gascoigne, and Los Palagos, Meet Team Adventures, and you are investigating, of course, the kidnappings of the citizens. While you guys approach, now it's going to take, a few weeks of travel, but I'm just going to skip over that. It's mostly just, plain old traveling. There's no, random encounters. It's on the road. It's very, safe. It's good. And as you guys are maybe a few days out, you guys can already start to see, even over, the very medium-sized, stone walls, this large chapel kind of looming over the town. Considering, how big the town is, a nice medium-sized town, this is a chapel probably for, a capital. It's massive. And it provides a looming, almost sense of religious authority to the town as you approach. As you guys approach, you guys have two guards wearing, I would say, leather armor with just a single breastplate bearing a insignia of a white skull. Halt! What is your need to come to Los Palagos?
We accepted a job to help out with missing persons case.
May we see your letter?
I'm hoping one of us brought the bounty.
Don't remember who gave it to, but I'm pretty sure one of us has it.
I'd assume Salazar would have given you a copy of the bounty. 100%. He'd be like, don't mess up the details.
I just show him the bounty.
Alright. They look at it, they're kind of like, Alright. If you're going to Father Gascoigne, well, I'm sure you can see it. Just go to the chapel. I guess for better directions, go to the center of town. It is where there's the marketplace. Alright? Looming over the marketplace at the chapel. You should be able to, if you get lost going through the roads, just look for the giant statue in front of it. Alright? There is a huge, well-carved statue of a skeletal gargoyle. It's bigger than, I would say, the average person. So if you ever get lost, look for that. Right behind it should be the chapel. Alright, well, anyway, on your way, civilian. And they, half throw the bounty back towards you guys. You kind of catch it mid-air as it tries to float down. And as you enter, you guys
handed it back to us.
Yeah, he just kind of shrugs.
Yeah, get out of my way. All right, let's go, guys.
As you guys enter, you definitely get the feel that it's different than the rest of the world. As you enter, people are already celebrating. You're not even sure what. You walk by and you're not sure if there's a festival, if there's any celebrations or what. But you're just already starting to get this vibe, looking at different houses. Hell, maybe you at one point, one of you looks towards that house and mistakes it for a pub with how many people are coming in and out and having drinks from it. And when you walked by, one person comments that one person's throwing a wonderful house rager. It's every part of that town appears to have some sort of party or festival or celebration going as you pass it. And the people of this town appear to have a very, not necessarily Las Vegas-y vibe, but very live your life to the fullest type vibe, enjoying what life brings. You definitely get a big sense of celebration and indulgence amongst the town.
Yeah, giving me some Las Vegas vibes.
For a town that is being plagued by missing people's cases, they don't really seem too worried.
Yeah, that's what I was actually gonna say. Anybody have any ether that we can have? Lappers, screamers, downers, uppers, anybody?
One elf looks to you. Excuse me. He runs up. He's like a fucking teenager with a rat tail, and he comes up. Hey, I heard you're looking for some drugs. He opens his shitty little trench coat. He has a lineup of weird different kind of drugs. So you're looking for any kind of fun time in Los Palagos?
Do you have anything that might kill me?
I have a knife.
Oh, it's not exactly a drug.
Well, the rest of it's for fun. I don't know what would kill you. This kid, I will say...
You guys want anything?
You look in his eyes, he's actively on some kind of drug. His pupils are dilated. He's, not fully focused on you.
No, I'm sorry.
Nope.
I
didn't even
do that
stop. I'm
shit.
still walking to the church.
Same.
Well, let's go on then.
Yeah, whatever,
And then as
losers.
everybody turns and walks, as soon as everybody turns and walks away, I grab the kid. I'm like, listen, once we're done with this, I'll come back for you.
Gotcha. Find me, he looks kind of just left and right. Points towards, the east. Find me near the theater, alright? Just the big round building on over there. He points to the east. Find me over there. I like to hang out and watch a show.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Ooh, he runs off in a weird Jack Sparrow-esque fashion. His hands out for no fucking reason.
Awesome. Alright, let's go do this.
As you approach the marketplace, you will notice that it is bustling. This now actually does look a bit like a festival. But again, it looks like festival grounds that are never taken down. In the middle, so you have lots of marketplaces, lots of stalls. In fact, when you first enter, you see a sign that says the Roaming Farmers Markets, set up in Mercule for the next week and a half. and they're like trying to offer fresh, different exotic fruits you've never seen. There's like one that looks like a dragon fruit, but has a tentacle on the top that wiggles for no fucking reason. And in the very middle, you see what looks to be, I don't know if you guys were like near you where you are. You have like state fairs. I know Washington is like a super old school like Washington State Fair. It has like these fairgrounds and stuff.
I've never been to Benton County Fair before.
Fair enough.
I know what a state fair is.
Sweet. So yeah, like it's that kind of almost like constant grounds for some kind of event right in the middle, and in the front of it has a sign that's like hosting weekly brawls on a town square, a monthly wizard duel, and a twice yearly joust. And you see different like dates and times that they're going to be coming by, along with the festival of death yearly, blah blah blah, like all this different stuff. And you see a few people currently going around the semi-empty currently festival grounds, and they're like putting up white skulls, and it looks like some stuff made of like paper mache and stuff. A woman walks up to you. Excuse me, are you looking for anything?
Yeah, we're looking for the owner of this bounty.
Oh, Father Gascoigne. Yes. He lives at the chapel right north end of the. I'm sure you can see it. She points north to the market. It does loom large over even the market, creating a slight shadow coming down upon it. I'm sure you can see it. If you're confused, go ahead and you can go around the farmers market stalls, take a left, and you should be right at their entrance.
And before we go, do you happen to know anything about the missing people that just kind of never get seen again?
She looks at you, and for like a brief moment, you see this like sense of like worry come over her eyes, but then it like dissipates. And she like shakes her head. Oh, those things. Yes. We've heard of one or two people going missing. That's why you're here, right? She kind of like awkwardly pats you on the arm. For Father Gascoigne. Yes, right. Anyway, yeah, please go visit him and handle whatever you need to handle. I'm sure you guys will figure it out very soon.
So once we do that, I'm actually going to come back to you because I might have still a few questions. But where are we going to find you after this?
Oh, I'll just be here, sitting up for next week's wizardly duel.
Stay here. Don't move.
She gives that look of like, okay, and like, but then turns around and like kind of like awkwardly points to where she was working. He's like, I'm gonna not move over there.
All right, let's go.
Alright, and with your directions, you're able to now finally move through the crowded marketplace. It's definitely pretty bustling. You can see as you pass the farmer's market, so many different various exotic goods from other lands. Hell, even a few from, I would say, from probably one or two of your guys' like hometowns. Stuff that maybe you might even see like jams or fruits bearing logos from where you are, and you see the advertisement is, jams, preserves, fruits, vegetables, and other sorts of goods from way across the continent, all the way far from blah blah, and like all just this long ass speech about how it's all super unique. But you guys can see a few that you're like, oh, I know this. This is from like a town a few towns over. And as you're maybe judging him, you look over, and finally, a good 60 feet away, you see the large looming statue. It is, in fact, a skeletal gargoyle on a pillar 5 feet off the ground, adorned with clothing befitting anything of a dark figure. Dark robes wrap around the granite stony visage as it stands tall with its bony wings outstretched over its head. And in fact, the wings stretch out so far they go over the entrance of the chapel, meaning you have to step underneath the actual gargoyle to enter the chapel. Around it, you can actually see, adorning the chapel itself, various different points, or similar gargoyles. Not so detailed, not so refined, none of them having entire skeletal bodies or clothed essentially as a human would be, but many different points, like other gargoyles with a skeletal head or skeletal hands, stuff around it, visage around the church. With, on the front, the church bears the mark of Mercule, a white sugar skull painted in a various different whites and grays and showing off the depth of the skull. It's, even while you're knowing that you're supposed to enter, it still creates a sense of not fear but unnerving. Something about the image deep within your soul just kind of provocates the sense of you're going to die, and you don't know why. It just makes you feel deep down that one day you will die. You don't know what it is. It just will happen.
Oh, I gotta say, everybody, this is a little bit unnerving.
Very much.
Very much so.
And
We're gonna have to fucking fight that thing.
Quite honestly, considering how ominous and how detailed that is, as far as everything else going on in the town, this is not exactly a normal church, and I would love to come back and investigate it. But we have to go see the father, so everybody ready to go in?
Yeah.
Do this.
Alright.
All right.
Let's go.
Passing beneath the gargoyle wings, you feel, as you enter the shadow temporarily of the statue to pass through into the doorway, you feel the sense of cold grip towards your like different parts of your body. Whether you pass underneath with your arm or your leg, you feel this slight skeletal touch for just a second, you swear. And then it disappears as you open the gate, or the door. And inside you initially see several pews lining the area. On the other end, you would also see, just because it is a large temple, you can see this side with a large amount of pews, and you can also see the front with a bloody altar that has a large white skull on the other side of it. But in the actual pews, initially, when you turn around, or when you enter, a tabaxi, a cat lady, in wonderful dark kind of gray, not black like the statue, but grayish robes, bearing the symbol of what you could assume is Mercule, the white skull. She turns around. Oh, hello there! Are you here to praise Mercule and the cycle of death?
Absolutely not, but I'm extremely intrigued on your religion. We're actually looking for Father.
Oh, Father Gascoigne. Yes. He is in his studies, the library on the second floor. Please, if you would like to go through the door to your right, and you will go up right above us here, and you can continue forth through the stairs. You should see Father Gascoigne. He is a tabaxi, much like myself. This one has, I would say, like, kind of similar to the puppies in a weird way. Very gray and black kind of classic, almost like wolfy style, but instead she has little black dots over her instead of white dots. It's much like myself, except I would say he's pure black of fur. He is a very interesting man with he has a white pattern over his fur on his face. It appears very much like a skull, I think many would say. So if you look for him, he should be on the second floor.
That's good. Thank you for the information. Before we go, what do you happen to know about the missing people around this town?
Oh, God. Father
Please be as honest as you can.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you're here to help us, I would love to give you as much information as I can. Father has been investigating him for the better part of 2 weeks now. God. So, the people missing so far that I know, I've heard of Mr. Liam. He's he was the cobbler. He's God, he disappeared from his cobble shop one day, and the door is open, and there was like scratch marks all over the place. I don't know what happened, but Father Gascoigne was very, very worried when he had heard the news, and that suddenly sparked him into looking for other things. Then, not too long ago, this is a recent one, the couple, Mary and Herd, I don't know, there are a few Dragonborn who lived near the edge of town. I don't know what happened. I just recently heard about it. Father Gascoigne mentioned it this morning on his way to his office. He seemed very panicked and fearful, mumbling how he hopes. Well, I assume you guys must be the people he was mumbling about. How he hopes they come. They vaguely. He just kept saying they come quickly. He hopes they help. So I hope you are our help, because I don't know what Father Gascoigne saw when he was investigating this, but it's strived fear into our father.
We just know this people. Just to make sure that I heard you correctly, that is Mr. Liam. He is a cobbler. He went missing. Someone named Mary. She's part of the couple.
Mm-hmm. And Herd. He like Herd like a sheep herd. His family comes from sheep herders.
And they're both a couple.
Yes, they've been married for I think the better part of 5 years.
Wonderful. So keep the subject in mind. We're going to come back to you.
Okay. If you like,
guys,
I can.
Shall we head up to see Father?
If you like adventures, I can talk to Brother Maxwell and Brother Kronk and see if they've maybe heard of anything else.
Yeah, go ahead and do that while we talk to Father.
Okay, I shall go get them. And she kind of scurries off deeper into the pews, and you see she approaches two other people at the other end near the altar who were very lightly just cleaning in robes. She approaches them and starts speaking as you guys go up the stairs. As you go up to the second floor, you would see various different rooms, all closed off but labeled openly, like a library, living room, like very homey stuff, including a few meeting rooms, like a religious confession room. And then you see a plaque that said Father Gascoigne's room, and inside you hear arguing. I swear, Marie, look, listen. All right, I swear it's hunting, okay? I know it's hunting again, and I know that we have to stop it, okay? I put out the bounty for a reason, and you hear a woman's voice. Listen, the church knows how to handle this. The church will handle the issues, all right? That's why I am here. That's why the church sent me, all right? You are of the church. You should be working with the church, not other folk.
Knock on the door as we all stand there.
And then you hear, excuse me, one second, Marcus. And opening the door, you see a black tabaxi with white markings over his body that looks very skeletal. Little white markings over his hands where each digit would be. Over his face, not the entire thing is like completely covered, but you see almost like etches of what looks to be like a skull going across his face over his black fur. Oh, hi. He brings up a piece of, he like runs in for a second, comes back, brings up a paper, and it's your bounty, like a copy of it. Are you for my bounty?
We are, yeah.
Oh, praise the God. Oh, praise Mercule. See, Marive, I told you. See, they're coming. And inside, you pass him, standing in front of a table with various maps kind of laid out and images upon the maps and drawings, etc. You see a lizard folk woman standing tall, wearing half-plate metal armor, a great sword upon her back, and on her left shoulder is a parrot. She looks over. So you must be all bounty hunters? She rolls her eyes, walks past Father, bumping into Cammy, like bumps, like basically shoulders you on the way out, and goes, "I'll talk to you later, Father. Deal with whatever you need to do. I'm gonna actually try to get some work done." And leaves.
Grab her arm and a question. Who the hell are you?
She pulls her arm away. "I am Paladin Mareeves of Mercule, and you do not lay a goddamn hand on me."
Do a proper introduction. I want to.
She kind of just scoffs and once again like pulls her arm away from you, kind of like ugh, and continues walking on her way. Father Gascoigne looks so embarrassed. Like if the attitudes are completely polar opposite. You look from her, and it's that cocky, bitchy attitude. You look at him, and he looks sodden. He looks almost like his facial expression looks like a wet cat. Like he can't believe she just said that to people trying to help, right? Like he looks like, what the I'm so sorry. Please come in. Can I offer you any tea, coffee, snacks? I got pastries from the bakery.
No, thank you.
This won't be long.
Of course. I'm sure you're here for the missing persons cases. Please, what info can I leave you? What would you need to continue this? I'm new to this investigative side of life.
You can start by telling us whatever you know.
Yeah, everything that you know, from start to bottom.
He walks over to the table, and he brings up a map of Los Palagos. He slams a pin in right above the church. Here we are, Church Mercule. We are a religious factor that believes in the cycle of death and the celebration of cycle of death. We have quite a following in the town of Los Palagos. I'm sure you've seen everyone celebrating and living their life. That's because here in Los Palagos, people believe that if you're going to die, you die a good life, and you live your life to the fullest. So they enjoy themselves here. But because of that, it has bred a sense of stupidity. Like he kind of looks at you, blindness, selfishness, whatever you may call it.
Apathy?
No one's. Yes, in a way, it's all just complacency and lack of observation, and barely anyone even speaks of these. And that's what now he starts to go from like worry to angry. Barely anyone here speaks of these missing people. Do you know what? Do you know today I went and found the dead bodies of Mary and Hurd on the corner. He brings up like two like drawings that he had like almost like missing persons drawings that he had slammed down. They had been missing for a day, and I have found them, their bodies, back in their home, and I don't know why.
Also heard that a different person went missing named Liam. He was a cobbler. How long ago did he go missing?
Oh, Mr. Liam, he pulls up another, like, kind of scrapped drawn, like, again, it's not like an expert bard drew these, like, images. It's more like someone doing a quick scratch kind of sketch of, like, a face, or you might even see, like, just arrows pointing different parts and, like, descriptions of the person. On the back it says Liam, and with, like, a short description, and he's like, let's see. Liam, yes, half-orc. He was a cobbler, very, very kind man. He actually used to provide shoes for the orphans by donating them to the church. Very, very kind man. However, the thing is, he disappeared. Unlike Mary and Hurd, where I was suspicious because of the way their house was left over. It looked like it was a ransacking. And I would go a few times. I only went once or twice to Liam's, and he still hasn't returned. There's no body. There's nothing. He's just gone.
How long ago was this?
2 weeks. Maybe 2 weeks.
Alright. Now, is there a consistent story with these missing persons? Like, what is the same all throughout?
Oh, okay. I don't know if this is part of investigation, but I've already sort of tried to look at this. I'm no god, no detective, but he brings up like a few like notes that he has written, almost like little sticky notes. Let's see. So between race, there's of course no similarity. Liam was a half orc. Mary and Herd were dragonborns of one black and one white. So different dragonborns in fact. And the only thing I would have to say that is similar is that they both came to church.
They all came to the church, including Mary and Herd.
Yes, they're all followers of Mercule, and they would all be merry. And I mean, I know that's not much of a trait considering the rest of Los Palagos is celebratory, but we have to like at least consider everything. I know everybody kind of follows Mercule here, but that's the only crossover is that they both attended church.
So that seems to be pointing at your church then. Have you noticed anything off with the church lately?
The church?
Strangers or anything?
With the church? Oh, stranger. No. We have Paladin Reeves who've arrived just a few days ago. We have Brother Kronk, a drow, Brother Maxwell, a half-orc, and Sister Buttress, a tabaxi. They're the only ones who are here with me. I don't regard any other figures or people in the town. At least none who stalk the grounds at all. Well, actually, hold on. Brother Kronk, a few days ago, maybe like a week and a half ago, not too long after Liam's disappearance, mentioned seeing something. Well, not in the graveyard, but on our graveyard we have a fence, of course. I'm sure, as your towns do as well, you have a fence to keep, grave robbers and the sort out of the chapel graveyards. On the other side, someone was looking in, he said. Doesn't know why. It seems like they wanted in, but they couldn't, which is weird, because technically we don't have a face to whoever does this, so they could have just came in and went through the church. So this is of course suspicious, as why wouldn't they just go and pay respects by going through the church to the graveyard, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I hate to be the guy that says this, but you're not telling us something. Before we walked in, we overheard you and your first first mate talking about something pretty substantial as far as we could assume. Something is hunting. You want to explain that in full detail about what you're talking about?
Well, it's concerning that you're helping. I see no reason not to. It's superstition, really. But Los Palagos has a bit of a history of were creatures, and well, with were creatures, you can't always tell who is and who isn't, and more often than not, they hunt and take without actual possible connection. Right? They're transforming. They're not always sure what to do. Not always you have control over the transforming as a werebeast. And Los Palagos used to have a infamous gang syndicate whose leader was a were-tiger. And I don't know. I suppose maybe it's just fear. But I was begging Paladin Reeves to at least investigate it, to use her martial prowess to maybe intimidate the possible gang or the remnants. They hang out around the tavern. They're mostly disbanded now, as the previous god has gone in and completely wiped out most of their gang. Whoever's left is people who were snitches or people who maybe went to hiding and are no longer known as well as or as strongly have connections to the gang. And most of the gang has been wiped out because of the were-tiger's threat to the community, but we never caught the were-tiger. You just disbanded his gang. So my theory is maybe they're back. Maybe they're back.
You were talking about the creature as if this is something that has been here before, not as a separate creature, but as the same one within the last time that within the history that you've mentioned.
Yes, he walks over to a shelf and brings up a small book. It very just blatantly says like history of Los Palagos. There's like 3 of them on there, like chapter 1, 2, and 3, and like he pulls through them, and eventually after getting to book 2, he goes, okay, yeah. Laying it on the table, he goes, the history of Los Palagos. There is one of the bloody days and bloody nights was because the werebeast infestation. What had occurred is that he had infected. So when a werebeast strikes a person, I'm not sure if any of you are aware of this, there is a chance of infection, of continuing the disease. We had an outbreak of wereism, and werewolves, and tigers, and rats, and all these horrible things and diseases that make the town filthy. We were able to restore most of them, but this was, of course, a phenomenon that left many missing, many dead, as the town fought each other in certain manners. So this was long ago, 50, maybe 80 years ago. So I think it's happening again, where there's the likelihood of wereism, where tigers or infection going through the city again and causing people to act strange. But I don't have any actual proof.
You said you found the bodies of Mary and Herd, was it?
Yes, earlier today.
And could you discern how they were killed?
Claws. Sharp claws. I think I was able to, at the very least, it's hard. I don't know what may have actually done the killing blow, but I do know that if you just look towards the actual chest, and it's very hard to miss the giant claw marks, I'm gonna be honest.
The body's found.
Where?
Mm-hmm.
Outside their dwelling.
So outside their home?
Yes. The first
Could you
time
point out where
when
their
they
home is? Could you point out where their home is?
Yes, on the map he goes to the bottom right towards kind of like the theater area, right here-ish. Right here, the right outside the bakery. It was a horrible scene. First they disappeared and their house was ransacked with claw marks scratching along the boards, and it looked like a fight had ensued, as I know Herd wouldn't have given up easily. He's a dragonborn through and through, and I found some of his breath weapon across the floor. However, coming back, I was just meaning to investigate, and then I smelt something bad. And then I look over in the alleyway and I see both of them, their corpses mangled. Not there before. Guards would have caught them before, but fresh, torn up. Herd missing his tongue and his throat torn out.
And where are those bodies now?
I would assume the guards post to be examined. The guards post, it's not too far from the theater, in fact. If you're going to towards them and towards the bakery on the south of town, just a little bit more south is the southern edge is God House. If you also like to question the other gods, there's the north side God House near the park and the horses.
One last thing. Are you able to accurately mark down each and every single missing person and their location that they were last seen on the map?
I can certainly try. He brings out a pen, ink, and he goes, "All right, well, here, of course, is Herd and Mary. Then Liam, the cobbler, he lived off of J Street over here. Then I believe that should be it for the missing people so far. They were found over here in the actual alleyway between the buildings.
So there's only technically 3 missing persons. I thought there were more.
Nope, just Liam, Mary, and Hurd as far as I'm aware. If there are other missing persons, no one's speaking upon it. And he at this point, he actually slams his hand into the table. And I don't know why. No, adventurers, you do not know how frustrating it is when people are disappearing and no one will do a thing about it.
I'm going to do an insight check.
Sure, go ahead.
That will be... I keep rolling. It keeps doing 2. God damn it. 12. I'm going to see if he's lying, or if he knows anything, or if he's withholding any sort of information.
You don't get the vibe on whether or not he's actually like withholding information, but you can tell he's wholehearted. I think you definitely don't get the idea that Father is a liar by any means. At the very least, the info he has told you, he full-heartedly believes.
All right. Well, does anybody else have any sort of questions at all on information? I've got everything written down.
Did you tell us where Mr. Liam's home and shop was?
Yes, on the map. It is the southwest portion over there. I marked it on the map. It is the second, on the left side, the second marking.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yeah. Liam lived in a 2-story building. The bottom was his cobbler's shop. The top was his home.
We're gonna take this map, by the way. Just letting you know.
I mean, I was going to offer it, so please do. He starts wrapping up and putting into a bit of a scroll case for you guys.
Thank you, Father.
Of course, thank you. You're going to be helping this town more than you could ever imagine.
One last question before I go. Do you feel like you're in danger at all? Like you personally are in danger?
Oh. I haven't really thought about that. I've been so wrapped up in trying to help others. I don't know. I don't think I am.
For now, stay here. Don't speak to anybody. I wouldn't even say speak to your first mate. As far as this is concerned, don't trust anybody. Because as far as this Swearism infection goes, it seems like anybody can have it, and it's very hard to tell. So, stay here, keep the doors locked. We'll let you know when we come back. And you had a question?
Yeah. When the outbreak happened 80 years ago, was there ever an investigation to find out where it started, where it originated from?
That's a good question. He brings up the book. Let me read a second. And quietly, he kind of just sits there and reads. And it's honestly a moment of just elevator music. Just do, 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 do. As you just sitting there in silence as he reads. And after a painstaking 5 minutes of just flipping through pages, I believe on the north end, where the park is now, opposite side of the horses, it is to the west of the church. There was apparently a den underground in a cave. It's been filled in since, but over in the park there was a supposed center point of where infection started.
Can you mark that on the map for us?
Already done.
Wonderful. Alright. Does anybody have any other questions? Lizelle? Or anybody?
What could you tell me or us about the gargoyles outside? They were giving us a very, bad vibe.
Oh, don't mind Thompson. I mean, that's what I call him, Thompson. He's just a statue. He's been here ever since the church was founded. He's kind of like he chuckles. He's older than me.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Something feels off about that. I'm gonna insight check him.
Absolutely.
17.
You certainly get the vibe that, like, it's not that he's purposefully, like, maybe trying to misdirect you, but you maybe get the vibe that he's definitely just trying to, like, brush off your question. He's kind of like, oh, whatever. Like, he probably didn't even really think about it, kind of thing, you know? Like, the gargoyles in his eyes aren't a threat. And you could very, very easily tell that, like, kind of the info that you'd be getting from him is going to be pretty biased towards that.
Okay.
Okay then.
Yes, I suppose if you need any other info, it's the Church of Mercule. I don't know if you are aware, is well, first off, praise the god Mercule, god of death, and he is a skeleton, a skeletal figure who once was alive, human, much like us. Not a savior by any sorts, but a believer. A believer of the dead. And the Thompson, the skeleton, he's made as an honor or visualization of the skeletal figure that is Mercule. That's all he really is. And honestly, all he should be, a symbol.
Okay.
Is there anything else I can help you with, Bounty Hunters?
Asked all my questions. Anybody else?
I'm good.
Oh, let's get out of here.
I have no questions.
All right.
All right.
Please, and if
Thanks,
you're
Father.
hurt at all, come back. I can try to restore your vigor.
Yeah, for sure. We'll come back. With that, as I said, trust no one. And keep the doors locked. Do not let anybody else in. Got it?
Yes.
Alright. We'll be back. We'll let you know. Only let us in.
Of course. And with that, he guides you out of the church, and he doesn't at any point like hurry you out. He just very casually walks alongside you and makes sure you don't get lost on the way out. And if you like that video and like to see more content, please drop a like and subscribe to Wolfer28, or give us a follow and a rating on both Spotify and iTunes as Bardic Logs. Thank you very much, and we hope to see you next time.